Hey, what's up guys? It's ElasticSpyder here, and in today's replay we are looking at a Montana that is being played by Stuntman0369. You may know him from his pretty popular podcast that me and Puddin and sometimes Sneaky go on, but yeah, you might know him from that, but in this replay you're going to know him for this. He is divisioned up with his buddy Master Ali, who also participates in the podcast and is a pretty good World of Warships player himself. Before we get too into this replay, I want to say, yay, I'm back. I've kind of taken a couple weeks off from between mic issues and kind of just personal issues as well. I know that sounds a bit weird, but I just needed a little bit of a break, and I'm back. I hope it sounds good. At least I hope so. I got a new mic, so hopefully that situation is fixed, and hopefully it won't be coming back in the future. But let's get on to this replay. If you would like to send us a replay, by the way, send it to BIAworldofwarships@gmail.com. That is the best way to contact us if you have any questions as well as our Discord that's linked down below. In the email, though, you should include the replay itself, the post-battle results, 4 of them, and then finally a pretty short description of what occurred during the battle. That kind of helps us to gauge the replays, and of course the summary does help let us know some exciting parts and some more tactical parts as well. So please do include that. We do try and watch and read all of your emails, and we do appreciate them. So, Ognivore gets spotted, and first shots of the game, we get 2 overpens, not too bad. Master Ali gets hit really hard from probably a couple battleships as well as maybe the Des Moines, and he was sitting on a good 1,000 health, but of course he's got the British shield, and he'll heal all the way back up to 22.5k it looks like, and I'm sure he can heal a little bit more, so he's not going to be too obviously that did hurt a lot, but he should still be combat effective, at least for the most part. Stuntman's taking a very aggressive approach, especially without any cruiser support up here. He does have another battleship in his Iowa, but of course the Kagero can only do so much in terms of anti-destroyer capabilities, so he is going to have to shoot any destroyers and a lot of cruisers. Fortunately, though, the St. Louis seems to have taken a very decent hit. Let's see if Stunt can't finish him off. Waiting for him to accelerate and turn out like he is doing there. Salvo's looking good. St. Louis is making the mistake of turning out to fire all of his guns, but unfortunately 4 overpens is not going to do it. I'm going to start the kiting process here. I think the Iowa, in my opinion, should have kept going and turned left right before that island, just so that he's got a way out, because right now sitting here is not a very good move. Obviously there's a St. Louis right there that's spamming HE, as well as the Hindenburg and 2 other battleships, as well as you can see down in the HI 5-6 area there's a lot of cruisers and another battleship coming. But from, I think it was 18-ish kilometers, Stuntman shoots at the St. Louis and does do a very nice salvo and gets a citadel as well and ends up taking him out. Hindenburg showing a good amount of broadside as he's entering a turn, and that's going to be 1 citadel. Unfortunate there, only 1 shell hits. Of course, I do have the angle indicator on the kind of bottom left side of the screen. Stuntman, I don't know if he runs Aslan's mods or what mods he might run, but I don't know if he has this one. This is purely recorded from my perspective, so that's why you see that. So I'm sure he'll just be waiting for this Hindenburg to turn. If I were him, I would start getting out of here a little bit quicker. with this amount of ships here, it's bound to happen before he starts getting burned alive, and probably citadeled. I don't know if there's any. There's one Yamato. I don't see him over here. It's hard to tell with a lot of these ships, but in any case, that was a nice salvo on the Hindenburg. At this point, that Hindenburg should be kiting, not charging. At least that's what I would do if I were him. This is, I like this. He's prioritizing the people that are doing the most amount of damage to him. Right now, that is the Hindenburg. Nice, another Citadel on the Hindenburg. Takes him out, and that's getting rid of another HE spammer. The next would be the Des Moines. The reason you want to go for the HE spammers is because you can't angle against anything, any sort of fire damage. Of course, you can mitigate some HE damage by angling, but that's not guaranteed in a battleship. You can certainly, though, angle against armor piercing, and no matter the majority of the time, enemy battleships won't be switching to HE when they see you. Someone hit the Des Moines really hard, and Master Ali in the Minotaur ends up taking him out. However, it looks like he actually did go down, though. Probably radar got him, but at least he got someone in return. I was shooting a good amount of broadside. Let's see if we can't connect with any citadels. Some decent pairing. No citadels there, showing that the Iowa's lowered citadel helped him out a little bit there. Otherwise, that probably would have been 1 or 2 citadels at the least. So a lot of the time, people associate the Montana with its capabilities up close and personal, but a lot of times I do like to play it, such as how Stuntman is playing it here, kind of in a kiting fashion. The other good battleship that's good at that is, of course, the Grosse Kurfürst. I think the Grosse Kurfürst can do it a little bit better if you sit within secondary range, but at this a little bit longer range, just like 14, 15 kilometers, I think the Montana is far superior. I think it's got better gun angles, and you can angle this, you can maneuver a little bit better than you can the Kurfürst, which of course that does help your survivability quite a bit. So that kind of mitigates the 10k HP loss, or HP difference between the Kurfürst and the Montana. Looks like the Iowa slowed down just in time, and Stuntman might have aimed a little bit higher, but of course those were a lot of those were solid penetrations, and 10k is still a decent salvo nonetheless. But the good thing, though, is that the Iowa has to stay somewhat angled like this, just because there's Yamato to his front and an Henri spamming HE to his rear, so he's going to have to stay somewhat broadside. Stuntman fires again. I'm expecting at least a Citadel here. There's a Citadel, 24 grand done to him, and the Yamato should be finishing him off rather soon. The other thing that makes the Montana a little bit more superior in this kiting position than, let's say, Yamato or a Grosse Kurfürst is that when you do have a carrier in the game like we have here, a Taiho on the enemy team, it is capable of defending itself against an air attack. Of course, if you're all alone during a air raid, sometimes you will get unfortunate with RNG, and you won't get a lot of planes, and you will still take some damage, but you can mitigate a lot of that through your good AA, especially if you spec into things like AA, which, by the way, we haven't done a lot of captain analysis or module analysis rather. So obviously he's got AFT. You can see that by 7.5 kilometer AA range, and we get to see how good this AA is. I believe Stunt did say he has manual AA, so he's going to be focusing these torpedo bombers for sure, because those are going to do the most amount of damage and have the possibility to cause the most amount of floods. And flooding, if you guys don't know, is I can't say it. It lasts a long time and it does a lot of damage. I think I said it lasts a while too. So he has to repair. That's okay. But he shot down a decent amount of planes. I think if he was moving a little bit faster, that he would have actually been okay in that situation. He might have taken a torpedo or two, but I think since he slowed down, he had to eat some of that damage. But again, because he did shoot those HE spamming cruisers earlier and kill them, he is able to not worry all that much about taking HE damage. Some very good angling here, forcing the Iowa to go straight and allowing his Taiho buddy to get a very nice drop on him for a good, I believe it was like 30-40k. And he finishes him off with the heal not being enough for the Iowa. Some very good angling as well there, putting his guns to the target that is by himself. That is something you want to do. You want to isolate a target and then angle against the rest, as well as angle against the target in front of you. Ognavoy making a mistake there by shooting, and that is a Confederate one away from a Kraken. I'm sure cue the super hard braking to the right. So I'm sure that's what Sun's doing right now. Torpedoes were kind of expected, and he managed to dodge those. Montana's kind of screwed here. He can't turn out. He has to turn in, but what he's going to do is he's going to turn out, which is, of course, a mistake. It looked like a 22.5k salvo from stunt on the Montana. Staying angled, doesn't need to open up on the broadside yet. I'll just let the Montana come. And there's two Citadels for 22k. And then he aimed a little bit too low there and was not able to get that second Citadel. There we go. There's another Citadel. 5k. Secondary should be going here if his buddies can't help him out. Cue the torpedo beat music. Oh boy, this is gonna be close. Can he finish him off? Oh, someone kill him. There we go. There's a Citadel. That's Kraken Unleashed. And he's doing torpedo beats all the while. Manages to repair or damage control, and now he is beginning the repair, and he is on very, very low health. Yamato shells are coming in. Have to be careful here. Very, very close indeed. So now we have the advantage. We've got the destroyer, as well as it looks like we have a little bit better carrier player, because honestly the enemy carrier should have landed at least a hit or two on Stuntman. So I think at this point they do have the point lead. However, the caps do favor the enemy team, so we'll have to see what their decision making is on what targets to go after, and what caps they have to go after, if any. I would say you would have to go after the caps. At least the Kagero should. Stuntman can support him, but I think the majority of the work has to be done by the carrier, because he can support people pretty much at a moment's notice. Minotaur should not be shooting if he's not in smoke. If he doesn't have smoke, he needs to be hugging islands, because if you're not hugging islands, I'm sure this will be the dead Minotaur. Unfortunately, that's not the case. I think Stuntman underestimated the turning capabilities there of the Minotaur, so he aimed a little behind and a little too close. So he's going to have to readjust. It looks like he's going to actually take a shot at the Yamato, just because Minotaur is behind the island. No point in wasting salvo on him. Plus the Rune is in a very good position, kiting. he doesn't have to worry about much. Planes are coming in. He's got manual AA. I'm sure he has enough AA to still deal with this at this point in the game. A lot of times, I will actually run, instead of main armaments mod 1, I'll run the AA and secondary survivability, just because I run a very similar build on my Montana, so I do want to have as much AA capability left in the game during these stages when it matters probably the most. Of course, it doesn't impact you as much if you're running... Oh boy. If you're running... I lost my train of thought there. Anyway, we're gonna just continue kiting. That's the really only option he has now, and it doesn't look like Stuntman actually has a concealment build. That is something that I actually go with, so that's a little bit different variation in the builds. He has manual AA. Oh, that was a very nice kill. So that was his 6th kill. Citadel on the Minotaur. That Minotaur did not respect Stuntman's capabilities after going undetected. So very nice job by Stuntman to finish off that Minotaur. That helps his team out a lot. And with the Kagero doing a nice job capping on B, this game is looking like a win because we still have the DD advantage. I don't know how the carriers are doing in terms of plane kills, but Stuntman has 41 plane kills, so he has to be moderately low. The enemy carrier does. Any torpedo hits? Nope. Bit unfortunate there. At that point, I think the Yamato's so low that you could even do somewhat of a cross drop. But again, that does depend largely on how close the Yamato was being, how close the planes were spotted and for how long, stuff like that. Interesting decision to shoot HE there. I probably would have stuck to AP rather, but of course, setting fires on Yamato that is forcing him to repair, that's always going to be annoying. And if there was a flood on the Yamato, he definitely repaired that, and switching to HE in that case would be the most ideal. So, game is about to wrap up here. The only enemy player left is the enemy Taiho. At this point, it's pretty much game over. We won. Looks like the enemy Taiho is pretty much out of planes, maybe a couple torpedo bombers, but again, at this point, it's pretty much done and over with. So we're sitting at 289,000 damage, 7 kills, Confederate high caliber Kraken, 41 planes shot down, 9 citadels. I'm just gonna speed it up a little bit here, just so you guys don't get bored. I don't know if Stunt actually gets in range. Probably not. Maybe one last salvo. Let's see it. 5, 4, 3, 2. Will it land? No. Or it did land, but the game ended. Alright, boys and girls. Looking at the post-battle results. 1 million credits earned. 12,000 XP. 7,000 free XP. If you're working towards your Missouri Stuntman, which I believe you are, or the Nelson, good luck, because you've earned a lot of free XP here. Confederate Dreadnought, Kraken, and High Caliber. Dreadnought was to be expected. 289,000, as I said earlier. 41 planes, 7 kills, 9 citadels, 1 assisted, 1 base defend rather, and 63 secondary hits. Not too bad. Team score wise, holy cow. This is actually the highest base XP I've ever seen. Ever. Like 4,054. That is insane. And look at the Kagero. He got 2,700. If I was the Kagero, I would have sent this replay in too. But anyway, this is an outstanding game. Certainly I'm lost for words. Like, very well played in every aspect. Nothing that I can say that was wrong with this replay. Looking at damage distribution, it's all over the board. That kind of is implied with the Confederate, but killed the Montana for pretty much all of his health. Hindenburg for about half, St. Louis about half, Yamato quarter, Iowa quarter, Manitou almost half. So a lot of damage was dealt this game. But looking at the potential damage fired is way 2.6 million. That's on the upper echelons of the potential damage for a battleship, especially at tier 10. Damage received, by the way, 145k. That's, I believe, 150% increase of 100%, 150% amount of his damage that he took was. He had a lot of stuff fired at him, is what I'm trying to say. But a very well played again by Stuntman. Credits with premium and with the Type 20 camo, or the premium camo that I do say I wish he would donate to me. It was very nice, and that got him a total of 784,000. You can see the premium camo coming in very, very useful there between ammunition or ammunition doesn't get included with the service cost, but certainly bringing the service cost down does help a lot. So I hope you guys enjoyed this replay. I'm glad to be back. If you did enjoy the video, leave a like. If you didn't, hit a dislike and let us know down in the comment section what we can improve on. Anyways, guys, I'll see you in the next video and have a wonderful day.